How's it going, folks? Evan Price, your local Vancouver, Washington physical therapist and dialed endurance team member. Here we are in the lab, and we're about to go through a cycling strength workout. So that does not mean that we're getting on the bike and doing low cadence sets. This is like actually moving weights, things off the bike. So this is a lot of the stuff that can help us cycle a lot faster, but it's pretty important to stay consistent with during this, we'll call it this off-season period while we're all quarantined in our homes. So what we're gonna do is first, I'm gonna go ahead and explain some of the equipment that's necessary. There are a lot of adaptations of the equipment that you can be using, okay? One would be a helmet, which I do not have right now, but it's always good for safety whenever you're anywhere near a bicycle. Two, I have just a kettlebell here. 5 to 10 pounds. If you wanna go more, you can go 10 to 15 pounds. You kind of know your own limitations, your own ability. Household items that are pretty close. We have a member of the team, Mike Stats, who is actually tying together bricks. So you can tie bricks together. You can use, obviously if you have free weights at home, you can use a gallon milk jug, which is right around 10 pounds too. Anything that has that amount of weight about it that you feel like you can work with during these workouts, go ahead and stick with. We'll keep it between 5 and 15 pounds. So next, an unstable surface. Now, I'm nice, I have a little Dynadisc right here. This thing is basically soft, squishy, a lot like a pillow. You could probably use a big couch cushion pillow for something like this. You do not need an unstable surface, but for part of these workouts, that does help quite a bit. Next, any like TheraBand resistance. You can order these very, very easily off of Amazon. You could have them delivered that day. You can basically have any sort of varying resistance from like red, green, black being your most tight and resistant, green being a little bit less, and then red and yellow being your really light resistances. I have a preset loop, but you can also have just cutouts that you can make a tie out of, basically. All right, also a creative one for that is if you have an old bike tube, that's gonna be really stiff, but you can cut off an old bike tube, tie it together, work with the resistance that way. All right. Next, I've got two separate heights for this. So, one step can work, that's about a 6-inch step, but for some of these, you will want a little bit more height, which can be a chair or an ottoman. An ottoman is usually your best option because that's gonna be at about this height right here, which is for some of these exercises, especially if you have a little bit more strength and a little bit more athleticism, you're gonna want closer to that 20 to 24-inch height versus the 6-inch. Your typical home step is about an 8-inch, which is gonna be a little bit more than this. So if you have stairs at home, you can use it for a couple of these too. All right, so if you have that ottoman or your home steps, that's what we're first gonna start with, is we're gonna start with a little bit of mobility, and then we're gonna work into our strength right after that. So let's go ahead and get going. Move the ottoman out into an open space. First thing, I'm gonna start with my left leg. We're gonna start in a lunge. You're gonna pulse forward till you feel a stretch, and then I'm gonna move my leg in and move my leg out. Now you can see my foot staying still there as I'm rotating back and forth, okay? Now we're gonna do that 10 times, and then we are gonna switch legs, okay? 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'll show you in front. With this leg, switch legs, lean forward, bring the knee in, and out 10 times. Today we're gonna move a couple directions that you may not typically move on a bike. So if your flexibility is struggling and you need a little bit of adjustment, don't be afraid to not get into the ranges I'm getting into, or if you're way more flexible than me, get into better ranges. Good. Switch legs again. Let's do one more on the left. Back and forth 10 times. Also, this is, if you feel like you can't get much of a stretch out of this, you can use a bar stool. A bar stool brings you up even a little bit higher. If you got some of those available, high chair, probably not the kitchen table. That would not be a good idea. Switch legs, good. Back and forth 10 times. 3, 2, 1, good. Next one, stand over to the side. Choose whichever leg you want to put up first. I'm gonna put my left leg up first. Get yourself into this position, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna shift towards this hip, and then back. Shift. You're only holding for a second or two. The goal with this warm-up is not for you to be doing static stretching. Static stretching right before you go into strength training has shown negative benefits. You do not want to be sitting there holding your hamstring stretch, touching the ground for 2 minutes before you go and do strength training or go and sprint. This is just active mobility. Opening up the hips, which on most of us cyclists are pretty tight. That was 10, let's switch sides. Good. You may be able to tell that on one side you're a bit tighter than the other. That's okay. You work into the range you can work into. Lunging back and forth. Good. We're gonna get close to 10, 9, and one more. 10, good. To the other side. Good. If you're finding that the ottoman is a little bit too soft, I would suggest putting something over it that's pretty firm. Just so you make sure you still have a little bit of grip on the ottoman though. Obviously, I know most of you probably do not have a multiple height rogue box at home. Good. 2 more, 1, and 2, good. Last one on the other leg. Back and forth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good, 2 more. 1 and 2, good. All right, we're gonna grab our TheraBands now. Right after that, I would move the ottoman out of the way. Depending if you're in a garage, if you have plenty of space, you can just leave it where it's at. We're gonna grab the TheraBand. There's a couple different locations you can put this. So we're gonna do side steps and then we're gonna go straight into a diagonal motion. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want this in a place where it's not gonna slip around on you a bunch. For me, that is typically going to be, for these 2 exercises, right above my knees. Now, that's just for me that it doesn't move around too much at that spot. I like to keep it there. If you put it down here, sometimes it can start to slide up on you. So if you just start right here, it usually stays pretty cinched. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do basically 30 seconds of side to side steps. And then we're gonna go straight into your next steps, which are going to be diagonal. The diagonal steps, you're going in and then out, in, out, in, out. The goal being not to have to set down this leg when you come through. So it's not that, it is step through, stop, through, stop, through, okay? So in 3 seconds, we're gonna start with the side steps for 30 seconds back and forth, which is as simple as if you've ever seen a basketball defense drill. In a little squat, stick your butt back, keep tension out against this band, okay? 3, 2, 1, good. Now the key here is do not let your feet come close together. You're keeping pressure out against the band the whole time. Typically about, if you have a hallway, 10 steps this side, stop, going back the other direction. The goal here is not to let the leg swing in. You're staying nice and wide. If you've ever seen Steph Curry, Dame Lillard warm up, they use bands all the time. I know not all of you watch basketball, but those are 2 guys who are pretty good in the NBA. One of them plays locally here in Portland. Good, now we're switching to our diagonal steps. 30 seconds. I'm gonna show you a variation too. When you get to the end of your 10 steps, if you're feeling it, you can start to go backwards if your balance is pretty solid. Diagonals backwards. Same thing, 30 seconds. And then we're going back to the side steps right after this. Good. Straight back to your side steps. In the squat. Back and forth. 30 seconds. You should start to feel it a bit. Hips starting to tire out just a bit. You may decide by this point that that bike tube that you chose is probably a little bit too cinched up. Maybe choose a little bit looser tube. I would suggest making that switch now because we still have more diagonal steps. Good. To your diagonals. Back and forth, and you don't need a timer. I'll be your timer today. A lot of what we're doing is going to be based off of reps and sets too, so you will not need to count that either. Good. And forward. Last lap for this one. Good. Take off the band, but we will be using it during the next one. So I'm gonna keep it right over here, right where you guys can see. And what we're gonna do during this minute rest, we're gonna set up our next circuit. So the next circuit is gonna be basically taking a balance approach. So the main focus here is gonna be that we're straining your balance a bit, but that does not mean that I want you falling over each time. So if you watch me and I have a certain range that you think looks harder, you take a little bit out of it. If I have a range that looks super easy to you, you can go further if it's not challenging you. So I'll show you the 3 exercises now. The first 2 are gonna be without the band. The last one's gonna be with the band, okay? And what we're gonna do is you're gonna do 1 minute of each of these exercises, 30 seconds on each leg. We're gonna go all the way through 3 times. That's continuous, and then we will rest 1 minute at the end. If you need your rest, this is the nice thing about you being in your home and not here and me able to watch it. You can just pause the video if you need an extra minute rest in between each set. The goal is not to go to failure here. You should feel like you're under control. Okay, so the first, these are called RDLs, if anybody knows what that is. That means, so these are single leg RDLs, meaning that I am hinging at my hips here. This is not a squat down like that. This is I hinge, I reach down, and I touch the weight to the ground, and I come up all the way. Back down, there. The first one is gonna be 30 seconds on each leg through that exercise. Then you are going to switch hands. I'm on my same leg. If I was holding with my right hand before, I'm holding with my left hand now. You are gonna come down and touch to the side. So that means I'm coming towards the other side of my foot. I am rotating almost like a skater. So I'm coming down, touch, back up. I'm letting myself rotate with this second one. Same thing, 30 seconds on both sides. Then the last one, we go and we put the band back on quickly. And you are going to grab same leg, same hand, just like you do on the first one. And we are going to open up into a fire hydrant. I'll show it from this angle so you guys can see. Open up, touch, back down and up. Open up, and by open up, I mean you're coming wide here. So my chest is now facing that wall. In the first one, I was facing down. In this one, I'm facing that wall. Touch, back up all the way, okay? Then we take the band off, and we do it all again. Okay, let's go ahead and start in 10 seconds here, okay? I'll be your timer. You follow, like I said, if you need to pause and rest, you pause and rest. Ready, set, and go. I'm starting on my right leg. If you want to start on your left leg, that is just fine. The goal is not speed. The goal is consistency. There should be a little bend in the knee that you're standing on. Little being the key word. If you lose balance, like I'm probably going to here at some point, that is absolutely fine. Regain your balance. You're not training your balance if it's not knocking you off balance just a little bit. Good. Another good tip here is as your hips get tired, make sure that you are really digging those toes in. Switch legs. Good. Digging those toes into the ground. That's what stabilizes us. That's what gives us a lot of our balance feedback. Especially your big toe. Your big toe is more than 50% of the feedback that you get from your foot. Good. And fourth. And now we're switching again. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Up. Whoop. Like I said, I was guaranteed to lose balance here at some point. Make sure if you're not getting this one, that you're focusing on that little bit of rotation and you do not have to touch the weight to the ground. If touching the weight to the ground is the hard part and you feel like you can't stay balanced, come up about, right about here. And that's as far as you need to go. 2, 1, and switch. Opposite leg, opposite hand. Good. Your hip should start to feel it right about now. Good, 10 more seconds in this set. And then we are switching legs. Whoop. Good. 2, 1. Back over here. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that band, put it up around the knees as quick as you can. Same hand, same weight. Open up, touch, back up. Open up and turn, back up, good. Open up and rotate, woo. Back up. Good. This one should throw you off balance a bit. You should be feeling some fatigue in that hip. 2, 1, and switch. Open, back up, open, back up. All right. Right after this one, we're gonna go back to our first one. Same hand, same leg. 10 more seconds. Oh. Starting to lose my balance through the first set. Good. 2, 1. Take the band off. Back to number 1. Got a reminder for you too with this. So, as you come up, 30 seconds, make sure you come up all the way. We call that runner's pose. I know a lot of you cyclists do not run. That's okay, it's still good to get in that position. Out in front, 30 seconds. Good. And switch hands. Good. Now with this one, there's no rotation. Your chest should be facing the floor. You should not be worried about any rotation, but you should just be trying to keep your balance. Drop that weight to the floor and rotate on your hips like you're on a spit. A good friend of ours, Karen, calls these bobbing birds. I don't know what visual that's from, but try to think of that. Good, now we're switching. Opposite hand, opposite leg. Touch, back up. Touch and rotate, back up. Good. We're almost halfway through our second set here, folks. Good. And we're switching in 5 seconds. 2, good. Switch hand, switch leg. Touch, back up. Good. More than halfway on this side. Stay balanced. As you start to fatigue, do not be afraid to take a little break. Good. And we're putting the band on. Band on. Same hand, same leg. Open up and rotate. Back up. Open up. Good, by this point you should be getting into your groove. Should not be feeling like the stability is as hard. If it really is, do not be afraid to take a break right now. We will have a minute rest after this next set. Good. And switch legs. Good. Oop. Up. Make sure you are still rotating. If you're getting tired and you feel like you can't rotate, just shorten up the range like that, so that you're not just bobbing straight up and down and you are adding that little bit of a turn, which I know is foreign to cycling hips. And 3 more seconds. 2, 1, good. Band off. All right, we're gonna rest for a minute now. Put these back up. Keep your equipment over away out of you because we are gonna be moving a bit more with these next few. This next one, I'm gonna use 6-inch step, 8-inch step, whatever you have at home. I know people that have like stools in their kitchen and everything, it's even a 4-inch step would be just fine, which would be roughly about where my foot is right there. So a little bit smaller, but does not need to be that much significantly smaller. So if you want to try this on the ottoman, you can go for it, but it's going to be pretty tough. We're doing 2 sets right back and forth. We're already less than 30 seconds through our break, so I'm going to show both. First one, taking this guy around the ankles. You are up on the step. Your goal is to come down and you are going to carve a circle right around where you're standing. We're going to do that for 30 seconds, 10 times around, roughly. Switch legs, same thing on the other side. And then you're going to come down and we are going to swing the leg for 30 seconds side to side. First one's under control. First one you are just slowly carving. Second one, faster. Okay? I'm gonna count for us. We're doing 10 circles each side, roughly 30 seconds, switch, 10 circles. We're gonna try and get through it 3 times. With the leg swings, don't count, I'll count for you, okay? Start on your strong leg, come down, carve around, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you're pushing out against that still. You're not just keeping the leg close to you. It's got some distance to it. 7, 8. This quad should start to burn a bit. 9. And we're switching legs. Good. Everybody's got a weaker side. Mine is definitely my left side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch back to the right leg quickly. Back and forth. Goal is speed here, but I'm staying nice and strong and stable over this leg. I'm counting for your goals. We're getting over 20. Good. And switch legs. Good. Stay nice and stable. If you fall off the step, bring yourself back up. If you need to take off the band at this point too, you're welcome to take off the band. Good. Straight back to circle carves. I'm going onto my strong leg on the right. Four, 5, halfway through this. Your quad should start feeling it. 7, this is how you build up that stability on the bike. So you can climb with some of our teammates, like Dr. Hannell, Jordan Rickerson, and probably Tonk. Tonk would be another one you want to be climbing out there with. And switch legs, good. Carving out those circles. This is also how you stabilize those lower extremities so you don't run into issues like knee pain. And you don't need to be coming and seeing me too often then. Staying consistent with your strength training. Good. 6, 8, 10. Good, back to your leg swings. This is our second set. We're doing 3 of this and then we're taking a minute break. Good. And switch legs. Legs should be starting to burn at this point. I don't know what kind of music you guys listen to, but usually anything rhythmic like this is good to be listening to music. I know Jake's playlist is 80s rock. I think Matt LeGrand's is mostly Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift. I think Lance Hepler listens to mostly music from the 60s from when he was in college. And we're switching legs. Squat down, going back to the carving circles. Last set for this one, then we get a break. Good, switch legs. Try to stay in that like half single leg squat, quarter squat position. The lower you can get, the stronger and more stable you are. Good for you, but just make sure that you're staying stable and you're not tilting too far forward. You're staying kind of over that whole foot. You should not be coming up on your toes during this. And 10, back to leg swings, last time. I'm like using my arms here too for balance. That is fine, you can be a trapeze artist here. 3, 2, 1, last one. Good, okay. Next, we're gonna go through our finishing plyo strength. So this is gonna be meant to be done continuously. We're not gonna rest until the end. If you need your rest at the end of each set, like I said, just pause the video, take your rest, do it that way, okay? So, first, we're doing a 3-way plyo on your uneven object. Mine is this disc. Yours can be a pillow. That is gonna look like my back foot is gonna be on the pillow. I'm splitting my weight between my back leg and my front leg. And I'm gonna be bouncing 3 different directions. By bouncing, I mean quickly coming back and forth. It's almost like you're cutting. I have some weight on my back leg that would be on your pillow. Most of my weight's on my front leg, bringing me back and forth. We're gonna do that for 30 seconds on each leg, and then we're going straight into all the way around in a circle. One direction, all the way around, back. We switch sides, around and back, and then you're done with this one. Next, have your box set up pretty close to you, your ottoman, your step, whatever you need. If you feel like you are pretty springy, we'll say, I would get a higher surface. It's gonna be a little bit more challenging, a little bit stronger for you. So, we're gonna go 1 minute where you're going side to side, up and over your ottoman, or up and over your step. Right after those 1 minute there, you're gonna go into 30 seconds on each leg into a step up jump. So think of this as this leg is my right leg. It's crossing in front of me to step on the ottoman. I'm gonna power up, jump, come back down, up, jump, back down. If you wanna add weights, you can add weights. I'm not gonna add weights for this one, but if you really want to, you can. 30 seconds on one leg, 30 seconds on the other leg, okay? Our goal is to get through 2 sets of it. If we get through 2 sets, we get a bonus set, but we'll see. We'll see how we feel after 2 sets. Okay, so first, in your split lunge, we're gonna get started here. This is gonna be 30 seconds on each leg, a minute total. Ready, set, go. 30 seconds. The goal is to leave the ground as quickly as you're touching it. You do not want to be staying for long. This is not meant to be done slow. These power plyometrics are meant to be done at a high rate. They should be high heart rate if you're wearing a heart rate strap or anything like that. Side to side, 3 hops. And we're switching legs. Good. Make sure you're keeping this front knee bent too. This should not be going straight at any point. It should be nice and springy. You should be kind of up on your toes in the front leg. When you go to cut, you should feel like you still have a little bit of shock absorption when you go to each side. We're going to do our circles in 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Bend that knee. All the way around. Stop. All the way around the other way. Switch legs. Bend this knee. All the way around. Stop. All the way around the other way. Good. 1 minute on the box. Ready and go. Up and over. Keep that leg up. Keep that leg up. Good. You do not need to bring both legs off the box. 1 minute of this will be tiring. Do not toast yourself in the first 10 seconds. It's like going for a Strava KOM, which I am absolutely terrible at. Make sure that you actually pace yourself through the first quarter of the attempt. Good. Over and back. I know for any of you that come from other sports, like football, basketball, we're halfway. You should be very good at these plyometrics. This is what most of your training probably looked like. If you've been in the cycling world for a while, or in the distance running world, these plyometrics may be a little bit foreign to you, which is okay. If you're getting through them, you're getting through them. If you need your rest, take your rest. Less than 5 seconds. Good. Bring that leg out in front, up here. 30 seconds. Up, hop, up, hop, up, hop, up, hop. Leg should be getting very tired now. The one that you chose to do right after the side step should probably be your strong leg. Hop. Good. Only 30 seconds on this one, then we're switching to the other side. 3, 2, almost lost my balance there. 1, and we're going to the other side, good. Leg over in front, up, hop, up, hop, up. If you've got enough power, that hop at the top can be a jump, especially if you're using a smaller step. You can really power into that. If you're using a taller ottoman, it's a little bit tougher to do that. Good. 3 seconds left. Good. Good balance. And we're going back to the first one. Let's get through this second set. Leg out in front. Keep it bent. 30 seconds. Ready. Go. By this point, you should definitely be breathing hard. If you're like me, you could probably hear. Starting to get a little bit out of breath. This would not be a conversational group ride. Good. Back and forth. Make sure you are springing off the ground as you hit it as much as you can. 3, 2, 1, and switch legs. 30 seconds, ready to go. On your weak leg, this is a really good time to focus on basically how you pace yourself on that side. So if you go out very strong on your strong side, on this side maybe start a little bit slower, and as you start to feel comfortable with the balance, progress and get faster, faster and faster. Good, switch legs, we're going to the circles. All the way around. You can start either direction as long as you make it all the way around both sides, switch. Make sure that pillow is still in place. And switch. Good. 1 minute. Back to this guy, ready, go. This is why I brought the towel. Starting to sweat a bit. Good. Halfway, guys, good job. Three seconds. Good. Cross over. And now we're going straight to the curtsy hops, good. Legs should definitely be feeling tired now. Get your balance. This is when if you have stairs at home, you can also use the stairs. Go on your first or second step. Your second step would be 16 inches up. This is 20. 5 seconds and we're switching. 2, 1. To your other side. Left leg out in front. Good. Ooh, I forgot my hop. Make sure you're still hopping even as you get tired. If you're starting to get any discomfort in your knees, Achilles, joints, hips, beyond just that exercise, take away the hop. We take away the plyometric point. Good. Good. 3 seconds left. 2, 1. Bonus set. All right, if you've got it in you, let's go. 30 seconds. Back and forth, ready, go. Same thing, you're keeping that knee bent out in front of you. Make sure you're doing 3. I just skipped a set right there. 3, 2, and we're switching legs, go. 3, 2, 1. Back to the circle, switch. All the way around and all the way back. Speed being the goal. Good, switch. All the way around. I'm sure many of you are beating me in this one. Once you're done, we're going straight to your side steps. 1 minute, up and over the box. Good. This is the end of the climb. The end of your criterium race, even though we don't do a lot of those in this region. The quad should be burning. Your heart rate should be up. Talking should definitely be a bit harder. Good, 5 seconds, guys. Good, I'm gonna switch over by left to start. Cross, 30 seconds with the hop, last set. Good. Like I said, you can take away the hop if you're really hurting right now. This is the bonus set. 5 seconds. And we're switching. Good. Last 30 seconds. Good, done. All right, everybody. Cool down time, cool down stretches. I'm gonna show you my 3 stretches I like after this, but you're welcome to add any. If you were gonna do some static stretching, this is the time you go ahead and do it. First, I like to get into this position here. A lot of you probably know this is your hip flexor stretch. You're gonna squeeze that right glute muscle, and you are gonna lean forward. Lean forward. I'm gonna take this hand, and I'm gonna reach up and over to that side. Good. I would suggest doing 30-second holds on each of these as you go along. Squeeze now that left glute. You're gonna reach over like a crescent moon. Good. Another one I like, you can go and do a cobra stretch. Here, stretch. Straight into your child's pose. Here, straight back into that child's pose. Last one would be your pigeons. Once you get here, reach through to that other side. Good. I'll show you on this side too. Pigeon stretch, reach through to that other side. All right, and then make sure you're getting in some good recovery nutrition. Hydrate. I know most of you will probably be on the bike tonight, so everybody stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you on Zwift. See you guys next time.
Praying she won't